Good evening and welcome to my live. It is a beautiful, glorious day, and what a beautiful moment to be alive here on this planet. As we give thanks to Mother Earth, to Father Sky, Mother Earth, for all the blessings that's bestowed upon us, I just want to come live working with this beautiful energy, this beautiful sun, solar energy, giving thanks for the blessings that the sun gives to each and every one of us. So let's just take this beautiful moment in time just to give this, just to connect with your heart space, to connect with your qualities, because this is what we are called here to do at this time, to connect with our qualities, to connect with our inner, to connect with our inner beauty. So I just want to just join you all this afternoon just to share in this moment, to share in this beautiful energy, to bring forth the messages through, and also to share some experiences that I have. So just focus now upon your hearts just for the moment, and I'm just going to connect with this beautiful energy and just bring this beautiful energy through. As we're now connecting now with the sun, solar, golden light energy, we are now activating our hearts to the sacred wisdom coming through from the universe. Allow this beautiful abundance of energy to activate your hearts and minds. Connecting with the pink ray of love and the golden ray of light of sacred wisdom. The beautiful pink energy of the Divine Mother and the golden light of the Divine Father coming through at this time, bringing us beautiful blessings of light, love and peace. As we now connect with our hearts and this beautiful energy of light, we connect now with Mother Earth and to all of humanity as we bring this beautiful energy to the earth, touching the hearts of humanity at this time, connecting to their hearts, bringing this beautiful energy of love, peace, humility, and unity and harmony, so that we can bring forth this energy of the golden lights, the golden age of this Mother Earth at this time. Allowing the beautiful golden lights to transmute and to transcend. As we're connecting now with our divine qualities, we come to understand that all life is sacred. We connect now with the elements and the elemental life force of fire, of water, of earth and air, and of spirit. And as we now connect with spirit, I would like to share very much about the sun and the sun solar energy, for it is the sun that, and the symbol of the sun that transcends through time and through space. And it is the sun and the symbol of the sun that connects all sacred teachings and all divine energy together as one. I'm going to share with you this energy. This is a picture that I actually painted. And this sits right at the heart of all sacred teachings. So if you look at this, and I'm going to show you a few more, I'm going to go through some of the stuff which I've collated with regards to the sun. As you all know, I work with Horus, who's my spirit guide and my twin. Horus is the very essence of the sun. I'm also born in Leo, and that's by no mistake. Born in Leo, my ruling planet is the sun, and I work with this beautiful sun solar energy, the golden light. I work in partnership with Horus when I'm bringing this divine energy through. So this is actually the symbol of the sun. So if we start with this sacred symbol, that actually transcends right throughout all time and space and timeless reality. This is actually the symbol of the sun. And this symbol of the sun transcends through all sacred teachings, and all sacred teachings coming in from Lemuria, even Hyperborea, going into Polaris. If you go right through all the root races, Atlantis. So if we look at some of the teachings, we've got Atlantis. We also got Mayan, Native America, Inca, Egypt, ancient Nordic, Vedas in ancient India, Celtic. The list is endless. Christianity, it's endless. So what we have within this medicine wheel and the cross, we call it the medicine wheel because this is what it symbolizes. The sun solar brings through the medicine wheel, and within the medicine wheel we have that divine balance. And the divine balance is this is the where we are at in this time. If you look at what's happening along with the planet and in life that's around us at the moment, we are working at this time to instill divine balance, and this is why I'm coming live now to speak about the sun and how the sun and the symbol of the sun is about bringing everything back together in a unified sense. And what does the sun symbolize? What does the cross symbolize? The medicine wheel. So if we start with the sun and the symbol of the sun, it's there. And then if you look here, it's like we go into the medicine wheel, and the medicine wheel brings about a lot of the divine balance. So we have so there's a lot of things coming in. Again, I get different signs, feeling there's a petroglyph coming through on the sun. And then we have another symbol that comes through very, very clearly. And then you have the sun. The sun is also the symbol of the eagle, and was also a symbol of Father Sky. And if you look at the sun in itself, the sun is the very epicenter of life force. And the medicine wheel brings that balance. It connects to life force itself, connects to the elements. It connects to the directions, to the 4 directions. It connects to the 4 cardinal points, the 4 seasons, the 4 pillars of society, the 4 gospels. Connects to the man, the lion, the eagle, and the bull. So basically, what I'm going to do is we're going to start a little bit about the sun, because in this current root race and in this current cycle, started at the age of Leo, and the age of Leo is very much about the birthing of the sun. So if you look at the birthing of the sun and the birth of the celestial hue, Ra Harakti, celestial hue in the age of Leo, it is that's where the birthing of the sun is. It's actually in Leo. And then you have like the winged. If you have a look here, it's like the winged sun, which is a very ancient symbol itself. See, I've been shown a lot of these symbols as I've been connecting with Horus. Another symbol I've been getting where he's shown me about being the cornerstone and the 2 eagles itself. So there's a lot coming through. And then he's obviously shown me let's have a look. Another one. So if you have a look here, we have the Ankh, but there's also another symbol itself. So if you have a look at the Ankh is also another sacred ancient symbol of life force. And if you have a look here, you have the Ankh is also about the balance of the divine masculine and the divine feminine. And again, I've been shown the sun sitting at the top here of the Ankh. And then you've got the Tau aspect of the cross. And often or not, if you look at the symbology of the Ankh itself, it's about the masculine, feminine. And Horus told me, he gives me that word progenitor of life force. And we often speak about the creation and the creative forces, because this is the energy of the sun and how the sun sits. It is a progenitor of life force. And Horus also reminded me of Shamash. Shamash was one of his lifetimes, and again an emanation, and he speaks a lot about his emanations like Shamash, Mithra, and so forth. So Sun, Leo, age of Leo, progenitor. But I'm also been picking up a lot of the Leo and the Virgo representations, because Leo and Virgo working hand in hand at this time, Virgo and Leo. And I've been shown a lot of Leo and Virgo and how they are interacting. It's just like I have also been shown about the Gemini Leo crown and the Nama palettes, and we work with different constellations, we work with different energies from time to time. But he's showing me a lot of the Virgo energy and how the Virgo represents Jesus the Son and the Virgin and the Virgo and the Virgo meaning pure, the Virgo representing feminine, and the Mari, the pure, the Virgo Mari. So I'm working right now inside the Leo Virgo energy, and so is Horus, and there's a lot coming through with these two constellations, and I've been shown quite a lot with the forthcoming Lionsgate portal, and there's going to be massive shifts surrounding the Leo and Virgo energy. And this is something that Horus and I are completely, purely working on those energies right now, as in divine unification. So, coming back to the Sun, I'm actually going to do something now, because I'm going to demonstrate something. I'm going to actually post my natal chart, and I'm going to speak a little bit about my natal chart. If my laptop, where is it? Okay, so on my natal chart, I have, and this is interesting because what we have North, which is the birth of the Sun, and the birth of the Sun happens in Leo, and then it's like the rising up. If we go into Egypt, for example, and the start of this current root race, and we look at the cycle of time, even on Asian Vedic texts, you always got that cross in the middle. So even time itself, you've got the gold and the silver, the copper and the iron, the four ages. So and then we've got my laptop here is just bear with me a moment. I will get my natal chart up. Anyway, on my natal chart, I'm actually Leo. My moon is actually in right on the point, on the line of Capricorn and Aquarius, but it is actually in Capricorn. And so basically what I've been shown is that the birth of the Sun is actually in Leo, and it then sets in Capricorn down in the south, and they call it the birth and the death. Now we're looking at also the cycle of the equinox, and as we go into the we call it the death or the setting of the Sun, that takes place in Capricorn, and this is all symbolic. And then they say about the 3 days rising. So technically the 3 days rising is the time period between the actual winter solstice and Christmas Day. So this takes place in Capricorn. And Capricorn is, again, if you look at Capricorn, it's Saturn. Saturn, it's the Saturn energy, which is also about karma, and it's also symbolizing how we go through that process of transition. So when we're looking at the Saturn and what Saturn represents for each and every one of us, we're going through that 3 days of transforming our energies, transforming who we are as souls. We go through that transformational process, and then on Christmas Day, that is like, again, the grand birthing, another birthing. So we have this whole cycle going on, and it goes cycle, and it continues. So I've also been given here, which I've actually demonstrated it here. So if we look here, we got 3, 33 and 3 days. 33 is a very symbolic. If you look at 33 steps to Jacob's ladder. 33 days is the age of when Yeshua died on the cross, which is symbolic. And if you think about Yeshua, he's the very essence of the sun. So you don't have many people or many beings coming in. You have that, it's the emanations of the one. So we're bringing that energy of the one. So it's about all the emanations. So the emanations of the one, of the sun, being represented on the earth, will come in divine metaphors. So the birth of the sun, the grand rising, sets up in the north, and the setting of the sun is down in south. So we have Leo. If you look at Leo, that's up in north, and Capricorn is in south. Leo is also represented as the tribe of Judah. The cycle of equinoxes is also represented as the 4 stages of the sun. So I've done a little bit here. Again, we have the grand rising up in summer, and then Capricorn down in the south, and we also here have spring and autumn, which are the equinoxes. And usually, as the sun goes round in its cycle, and it's a cycle of time. Okay, so the pivotal point here will be in Leo. Now this is very interesting, because even in Leo, this is where we activate the Lion's Gate, and the Lion's Gate portal is activated between the Sirian and Orion constellations, and that takes place each year. And so that's very important. Interestingly, how Lionsgate comes in Leo, and that is the grand birthing of the sun and the cycle of the sun. So if we have a look at the equinox that takes place, and the equinox kind of takes place between Cancer and Leo, the solstice time. There's a solstice portal, the solstice gateway, and then we go into Lion's Gate. And the Lion's Gate is the grand rising of the great central sun, and the great central sun is Sirius. And this, we have celebrated this throughout time and space. Now, we also sitting at the equator, where you got spring and autumn, and this is how it is. We got the equator. This is where the balance. So technically, at that point, if you look at how many different teachings are being celebrated at the equator point, you have the Jewish Passover, and you have the resurrection, and you have the awakening. So as you're going through that cycle, right, you're going up into spring, into summer. Okay, and the summer is very much at the epicenter of the golden energy. It's lovely, it's beautiful, it's energizing. So if you look at the epicenter of where we go, and we have the great and grand opening of Lionsgate in Leo, and if you look at how what Leo represents, it represents the lion and the feline energy, and the feline energy coming in, making the activations. So if you see this as how we are working and how we are birthing in our cycle, in our everyday cycle, and how we are able to manifest that, we go through this Passover, we go through this resurrection, which is our awakening, and then we rise up, and we're rising up like the sun. We're rising up like the sun. And as we're rising up like the sun, I'm going to show you some other different symbologies that I've done, which is very symbolic, because it's all about balancing. And this is what the sun is very much about. It's about balancing, connecting with that balance, connecting with that divine energy. And I'm just going to it's in one of these books here, because there's a lot of things that I've been painting, and sometimes I'm like, ooh, I wonder what that means. So I'm going to show you this. So what we have here is we have the Eaqle energy, which is also the representation of the sun. We also have the Seraph energy as well, which is the 6, and the 6 sacred wings of the Seraph energy, code 6. This is another code that my life path code is 6. Okay, and the code 6, well, I'm 42-6. So then you have the 7. So technically, if you look at 6 is also working in the path of nurturing, Akashic records. It's also the healing. It's also the code of man. And the code of man, as we're working with the halls of Amenti, we've also got the 7-pointed cross. And the 7-pointed cross reminds us of our divine qualities. It reminds us of the wisdom, and the wisdom that's coming in to remind us of our inner qualities. And when we're looking at our inner qualities, we look at love, we look at hope, we look at purity, we look at happiness and joy, knowledge, wisdom. And as we're connecting all this together, we're bringing everything into one unified whole. And this is what the Sun Solar is about, bringing everything into one unified whole. Again, I drew this picture, which is a symbol of Turtle Island, with 7 rays, 7 divine beings sitting around, and this is the Sun Solar energy. So we have the 7, and we have the 7 rays, and we are here to activate these energies within ourselves, the rainbow, the chakras, the divine wisdom, the energy. If you think about the wisdom teachings. So this is what we're here to do as we are connecting and evolving even further. And we also have, again, that is coming in, which is the Orion Nebula, 42 Messier Nebula, Orion. And the Orion Belt which is the creative forces of this particular galaxy, and it is the Orion belt that actually aligns with the pyramids and with the Earth stones. And when I'm connecting, as I'm connecting with that, I'm also connecting with Leo and Regulus means time and timeless. So Regulus and regulating time, and it is about sitting at the point of manifesting the energy that's coming into the earth, ensuring that humanity is getting their best optimum of receiving that healing and energy and activation. Also ensuring that humanity are being activated to their qualities, showing them their own inner light. And the more that we connect with our qualities, the more that we're eradicating any vice, the vice of fear, the vice of manipulation, the vice of anger, jealousy, lust, vanity, you name it. Anything that's going to bring our energies down into a lower frequency. So as we are connecting ourselves up and we go into divine balance, the more we go into divine balance, we are neutralizing. And as we are neutralizing, and neutrality is a key point at this time, neutrality is a key point of the balance between masculine, feminine, minus, plus, dark, light. As we are neutralizing and going into neutral points, we're not going to be swinging left or right, and we're not going to be wanting to focus on the politicals and the religious and anything that's going to create the separation field, because we're not here to be separated. We're not here to be swinging left, right, and focusing on patriotism and separation and so forth. We're here to bring everything together into one. And as we're bringing everything together into one, that sacred balance and neutrality, then we are making ourselves whole. We become whole, mind, body, and spirit, because we are connecting with our true essence. So this is what we're here, this is what this is about, the connection with our true essence. So I'm also, again, because I've born in 69, so I do a lot of stuff. And when I go 69 is a very, very big number for me, because 69 is not just the symbol of Cancer, which is moon. It's also a sign of balance and unifying. So if you have a look at these symbols that I was just doing with some of my symbols, you'll see, how things come about and how things come about and what you can do with the 6 and the 9, because 6 and 9 are numbers of polarity, but how you can bring everything together, because you can actually bring everything together into a unified front. And if you think about the tree, for example, let me just bring the tree up. So a lot of these symbols, I'm going to show you some symbols now. And I know I did this particular one live on one of my previous. So if you look at that, this is what we have. This is what we have in a jewel, or in what you call the law of polarity. So technically, we've got light, we've got dark, we've got masculine, we've got feminine, we've got seen, and we've got unseen. But what we are here to do is we're here to master the connection with both. And this is what we did back in Egypt. We mastered the connection with both. We mastered the unification and connection and understanding of both, of the whole. And the only way we can do that is when we're rising up and connecting with our inequalities. So this is what we've got here. We have the seen and we have the unseen. We have the masculine, we have the feminine. The feminine principle, if you look at the sun and the moon, for example, this here is neutral points. This is what we should be doing. We are the trunk. So if we sit here at the trunk, or if you look at Mat, the symbol of Mat and she sits in between the two scales, and she's actually the pillar of the two scales. So if you look at Mat and you're looking at Mat, you're creating balance. And this is what it's about, creating balance. And this is what we're here to do. As light workers, as beings of light, mastering both dark and light, we are the pillar. And we are the pillar of the seen and the unseen. So when we are working at that point of neutrality, we are able to see the much wider whole. We are able to connect with spirit, and we are able to connect with matter. And we are able to radiate the divine energies of light in this world around us. You see where I'm coming from? So we become that. See ourselves unified like the colours of the rainbow, because this is what we're here to do. We are here to unite all elements of the rainbow in this world. And we have dark, we have light, we have the world, and we are balancing the whole. This is in essence the divine balance. So at the epicenter of the whole, at the epicenter of the whole is the sun. The sun creates these divine symbols, the medicine wheel. That comes from the sun. The medicine wheel is not just owned by one sacred teaching. The medicine wheel transcends through time and through space. We've used the medicine wheel back in Egypt. We used it in other civilizations such as Atlantis and Lemuria, Celtic, India, ancient Nordic traditions, China, Tibet, Inca, Mayan. So this sacred symbol is what we are utilizing in this now to bring forth the sacred teachings and to unify all sacred teachings in as one. For when we sit in the sacred circle of life, everything is connected. Everything is connected. And if you think about how we are connecting everything in the sacred web, everything is connected. So I wanted to bring forth this sacred teaching to you all. When I first connected with Horus, and he showed himself to me in spirit form, he didn't come to me as Horus. He came to me in a different lifetime, in a different form. Because at the end of the day, to pass any initiation, of working with Horus, who is the very essence of the sun. You have to be humble. You have to be yourself. And it's not about status. And that's the whole thing about the whole thing. It's not about status. It is about humility. And when we're working in humility, we're able to grow. Because we're flowers. And the sun shines down on flowers as we bloom and we grow. And to pass any initiation with Horus, just be yourself. That's it. That's all we're called to do, is to be ourselves and to be in this now. And he sees himself as a shaman, first and foremost, not a deity. He doesn't see himself as somebody big or anything like that. So he came to me in Roman form. And interestingly enough, I'm going to say something to you about Romans. And I've shared this in my early days. And I'm going to say he came to me as a Roman. And we've had a couple of, I got shown a couple of Roman times back right at the beginning when he showed himself. And this was back in ancient Britain. And interestingly enough, because everything, all aspects of mine and Horus's Akashic record has a connection with everything. And this is something that I've learned when I've connected with my own Akashic records. Everything has a connection. So, in the early days, he came to me in Roman form. And he was wearing a helmet. Okay? And this, he showed me this as well. And the plumage on top of the Roman, on the Romans' helmet symbolizes rising sun. And one of my lifetimes with him, I was Saint Hélène, and I carry that name, carry that vibration through. And he was Magnus Maximus, and he also showed me another lifetime, which is a lifetime directly after Yeshua in Roman Britain, and the 9th Legion, which was a completion of the Legio IX Hispania. And these are lifetimes that are, these two interconnect. So one of them is directly after Yeshua, and the other one was around 200, between 200 and 300 BC, where I was married to him as Saint Hélène. Again, this is more or less towards the fall of Rome, and this is where Rome completely became polarized, because what happens when there's a polarization? We have a polarization, and then we have a fall. And he showed me these particular lifetimes for a reason, about the polarization and about the fall. And on this Magnus Maximus, Rome became polarized. He was one of the emperors, and he was serving Gaul and Britannia and these provinces. And I have past life recall. I was connecting with Wales, connecting with water, connecting with Wales, and Wales. And I have become aware that my past life I was responsible for the creation of wells and chapels. And I was married to him in that lifetime. And I'm fully aware of connections. And when I get connections, I get Boniface, and I get Martin of Tours, and I'm getting all these connections coming in, these names. And these are different lifetimes. And I go into different lifetimes with different saints and stuff like that, because there are connections. Anyway, there was a polarization. He went to war, and he went to war with the other emperor, and there was a clash. He then got martyred, and his name was Magnus Maximus. In my early days, when I was really connecting with these lifetimes, I had spontaneously connected. It's interesting. I got connecting with a Roman author who all of a sudden, out the blue, on Valentine's Day, I get a book called Magnus, Rising Sun. And there we go, Rising Sun. A little bit behind that is Sol Invictus, Sun Invisible, Mithra. In my early days, I was at the British Museum, connecting with my Turkish lifetime, because Horus and I, back in Turkey, he was a clockmaker. He was the first clockmaker, one of the first, with him and his father were first clockmakers. And he came to Turkey. I was the granddaughter of the British consulate, so I was granddaughter, and he came over to Turkey first and foremost because it's Levant, it's the trade. He wanted to bring the clocks and the clockmaking trade to Turkey, and obviously we met, we got married, and we actually had 15 children together. It was like 15 children. So then his clockmaking transferred, not just clockmaking, he became a numismatist, whereby he would collect old Roman and Greek coins. He would then sell them on to the Bank of England and the British Museum. The British Museum have his coins. He also acquired the inscriptions of Aphrodisias, and he also rescued a bust of the god Apollo in Crete. And he no, I think it's either Crete or Cyprus. I think it's Cyprus. Anyway, he then sold it on to the 6th Duke of Devonshire. The bust itself, the actual bust itself, is now the Chatsworth head. It now sits inside the British Museum. I've shared a lot of this information in my early days on Facebook. I often go to the British Museum because I'm keeping an eye on its care. There's a lot of stuff that I know about my past lives, and it's absolute in depth. And there's a reason for it, because Horus activates me. Horus, spirit of Horus, doesn't just come in and I'm meditating and stuff like that. Horus and I work in spirit-induced trance. So he blends his energy around me. This is what happens with me. He converges his energy with me and I go straight in, and I am not here. I'm in another reality. So it looks like I'm being shown, or I'm in a past life reality and I could be shown things like that. And so technically this is a little bit about the Roman side. Yes, he also incarnated as Gaius Julius Caesar, And what I was shown, that Gaius Julius Caesar wanted to unify all sacred teachings. So Horus and I about is for us is about unification of sacred teachings, bringing all the sacred teachings into one. And this is the very essence of how the sun, the solar energy works. We are unifiers. We want to bring everything together into one, and it is about the unification. It is not about separation. It is not about polarization. It is about unifying. So when we are looking at different aspects, understanding different aspects, even from highest point, and we're looking at how the Vedas came about and what are the sacred teachings within the Vedas and the Bible, for example. We're not seeing the Bible in black and white. We see it in metaphor. And it's the metaphors that take you in even deeper. What does Yeshua mean about the 5 loaves and 2 fish? He's not talking about physically feeding 5,000 people with 5 loaves and 2 fish. He is talking about the metaphors of balance, talking about the balancing energy of 2 fish. The 2 fish represents Neptune, Pisces, Neptune. Let me talk about a little bit about fish, shall we? Now we're here. Here we go, 2 fish. Right? 2 fish, Dagon, Neptune, Pisces, Christ, salmon. Salmon! that is salmon, is my native birth sign. Fish, mer. Sumer, sumer. It means of waters. See, the energy's now lighting up as I'm saying that. The priests of Dagon wore fish head mitres. Sumerian, Babylonian, time era. Here we go. I'm showing you now. Well, here we go. We've got the winged, and we've got a little bit of the Turtle Island. I've decided to do Turtle Island and the winged fish. So that's a combination of the eagle and the salmon and Turtle Island. And then we have Dagon, Sirius, fish, Sirius B, the myrrh, the energy of the myrrh. And then if you look at fish, look at east and west. What do we do in east and west? Here we go. The energy's getting very strong around me when I'm showing this. We have the Pope's hat. Let's look at the Pope's hat, for example, and Horus's crown. Have a look at Horus's crown and have a look at the Pope's hat. And the first Pope, St. Peter. Peter was the name given by Yeshua to Simon. By Yeshua, YH. So Peter, what does it mean? It's pater, meaning father, pater. So the energy of the Pope's hat is east and west. But if you look at the hat, look at Horus's hat, and then you get the unification of east and west. And then you get, it looks like a fish. Okay, it looks like a fish. Right, so Egypt, we managed to unify east and west. The church separated east and west in 1054. And then that gave rise to the Knights Templar. because Horus came in as Utopian. Nine of them came in to establish the order of Solomon's temple. I'm going to be sharing a lot more about this because a lot of this has come through. And this is the whole unification. Behold, I am the Sun, the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. This is Horus's words. I came to sanction fishers of men, and I came to unite them all. For I am the resurrection and the life, and I have come to make all things new. I have come to direct all spirits and all hearts to the space of love and truth. All countries must come together as one. All countries. When we bind all things together, unified. You become whole, union, universe, unified. We bind all things together. So he came in to establish the order of Solomon's temple. And by doing that, he needed to come and to safeguard the artifacts, the symbology, and the secrets, because Horus is the keeper of the secrets. We are taking back the sacred symbols, the symbols that has been used in a covert way, that have been used in a reversal and abuse by secret societies. Okay, so if you look at that, we are coming together. We're taking back, bringing back into the light all symbols, all signs, all messages. Everything comes back into the light. For anything that's being used in a covert way, to manipulate and to disharmonize, to polarize, that's not going to be happening. We're bringing everything back into light. This is the whole awakening process. When we are awakened, we become aware of the disharmonies that's taking place in the world around us through the abuse of the sacred signs. So Horus turned around and said to me, he gave me this energy. He gave me this energy. And he said to me, he said, beloved, we are the chief cornerstone upon the pyramids. And this is the energy of the sun. And it is the sacred eagle. And if you look about this energy that flies within native lands, with Inca, Mayan, Egypt, Rome, the eagle of the ninth. This is how Horus and I have been working through life after life. And this is what I'm coming back here to teach, the path and the way of the sun. The sun is the unifier of the whole. So when we're connecting with the sun and the sun solar, we are bringing this energy of unification back into society. And that's what we're here to do. No one is greater than the other. We're all working together as a team. And this is what Horus is telling everyone. To pass initiation, even with Horus, you have to be humble. So the message at this time is about balance and unification. There's another picture that I wanted to share. So we have the star Solomon, the macabre. I'm going to call it the macabre. The macabre comes in from Egypt, means light body. We all are macabres. We are macabres. We need to connect with our own macabre. So, and then we got the seven flames. The seven flames shines within each and every one of us, and this is what we need to connect with. The flames within. The flames within. The sun, solar, fire, the connection. Because once we truly connect with our flames, our inner flames, we are activating our inner qualities. So I'm going to leave that with you there. I want to wish you all a bright and beautiful and blessed day. God bless you all. Stay safe. Love to you all. God bless.